Hello and welcome to BierTier, the German engineer. Today we are back with Oxygen Not Included with the Spaced Out DLC. Last time around we fired Jemsterr into space and finally colonized a new asteroid. And today we should probably make it a little bit more comfy up there. So let's just jump right into it and see how that works out for us. And here we are back on Grossano, and here's Jemsterr still enjoying his massage machine. Isn't that something? He definitely needs it. If you turn our overlay back on, his stress is at 70%. Yeah, it's a little bit high because his skill is so high and his morale is so low, so we definitely have to do something about that very soon. But at the same time, he also needs some help. So let's see what we can do about that. And after a few cycles and a tiny little bit of effort, that's what we are now looking like over here. Just a tiny little bit of a rebuild. Our deodorizers are a little bit in a different position. We put in some floors and we move the massage table where it belongs here on the top. Over here, we're gonna have a great hall eventually, but first we need a friend. And how do we do that? We need a mini pod. And the mini pod, I'm probably just gonna plop into this area right here. Smack dab in the middle, probably can't hurt. So Jemsterr, get building on this thing here because that's gonna be highly important. You can't stay here alone. We need to get this here done a hell of a lot faster. Especially food. We are running low on food. If we take a look into Serenity, how are we looking in here? We only have 17,000 calories left. That is for one dupe, about 17 cycles, so we need to do better than that. And here we have it. Our mini pod is now activated. Let's take a look at what we have in the blueprints. Okay, supplying cooking, suit wearing. Cooking would be good. We definitely need a cook over here, but we mainly need a decorator. How are we looking over here with Meep? Meep, what are you doing? Increased construction, that's good. Immune to food poisoning, doesn't really matter. Increased food morale bonus, okay, definitely not bad. But decreased strength. Negative 120 kilograms of carrying capacity. That is suboptimal. Unfortunately, that is quite suboptimal. We could get us 4 right now, it's just some bristleberries, but how about the other 2 here? Not a decorator and doctoring. Well, doctoring is really not that important at all. Cannot do cooking errands, also that is suboptimal. You are both suboptimal dupes to say the least. What about Ren over here? Increased food morale bonus, decreased construction, and cannot do attacking errands. All 3 of those dupes here are very suboptimal. We may have to do it differently. We could theoretically, we could always just get the bristleberries 4 right now. That may actually be the smartest strategy that we can run here. The only problem is we don't have anywhere to store it. If we take a look, do we have anywhere? We have a tiny little bit of carbon dioxide here, I guess, that we could utilize. Yes, that's what we're gonna do. We're just gonna dig down here, and we're gonna put in something for cooling, something like this here. That should be good enough. If we get Jemsterr to come by and get that done right away, that would be perfect. Jemsterr, you coming? There you go. Wonderful. Let's dig out those 2 tiles here, and let's hope it fills immediately with carbon dioxide. So far we have only 1 tile in there, 2 tiles, and if you get a 3rd tile above it, that would be even better. But in food, first and foremost, we need a fridge, and we're just gonna plop the fridge into this hole. That we're also gonna hook up to power. Something like this here, yeah, that's gonna be fine. We're just gonna come down here for right now, that's okay. Doesn't need a hell of a lot of power. I think it's 120 watts if I'm not mistaken. We are getting pretty close to the capacity of our solar panels, so we need to find another power source here soon. But for right now, that should get the job done. And then juice the blueprint, and we're gonna get us the bristleberries in right away as well. That's gonna be good. We just need to get them down here ASAP. And now it is built, we can take a look at it. The fridge, we have bristleberries in it, 3,000 grams at 1 degree Celsius, change per cycle, -6 degrees in a normal atmosphere. Yeah, because we have 1 piece of oxygen here in the top, but we need more carbon dioxide in this hole. That is unfortunate. Yeah, but that should solve itself here very quickly. Kind of like this here. Yeah, that's better. Change per cycle, -3%, because we are refrigerated. We are not frozen, but that is okay. We just need to make sure that we get a little bit more carbon dioxide in here, but that should come all by itself through breathing. So that should hold out a little bit longer here. That's an extra almost 5 cycles for Jemsterr to survive. And by then, we should get another dupe on here one way or another. Up here, smack dab in the middle, I think it is time to go into rocketry and find us a targeting beacon, because All of these here are all over the place. Those interplanetary payloads, they're just all over the freaking planet, and Jemsterr has to go a really far distance to grab them. If you put the targeting beacon right here, they should all land here in a very close proximity to this beacon. So that's definitely also on the agenda. Here we have another one that I need to empty out that still has cobalt in it, so that's got to be really old. But Jemsterr just has not enough time to empty those out. We need to find him another dupe. What I'm considering on doing is we could just grab the rocket platform. We have more than enough cobalt on this planet here that we could build another one of these here. And we could just smack it somewhere right here temporarily, bring in another dupe, potentially even 2 on the same spaceship, bring him over here, leave one here, and fly with the other one back home. Let's see if we can make that happen. We're just going to plop this one right here, smack that in the middle. Duplicant operation required. Can you not build it? No, you built one before. You should be able to do that, no problem. Let's see. So we have another rocket platform now built. Low clearance, 29 tiles. What do you mean low? That is more than enough for our rocket. That is certainly not an issue. So we're here on BierStein. Let's take a look at our rockets here. Which one is which one? I keep forgetting. I'm not going to lie about it. So here we have a rover's module in it. So this one here, when we take a look into the interior. Oh yeah, this one here is our pure research rocket. And that might be exactly what we need, as a matter of fact. That is actually perfect. Yeah, that's exactly what we're going to do. If we change the crew, and let's take a look. JSMSJ, you're going to be our pilot. And then Dark Fry. If I send both of you to this here, so both of you should be on board. Only one of you is going to have a bed, unfortunately, but that's just how it's going to go. No problem whatsoever. We just got to send you over there. JSMSJ can, in the meanwhile, create a lot of data banks while we're at it. And we're just going to fly over there. We're going to load off Dark Fry, and then we're going to come right back. It's going to be that simple. In here, we're going to put food, of course, as much as we can fit at 80% at least. Everything that's edible doesn't really matter. And we're just going to fill this thing up and go from there. Okay, so we now have 76,000 calories in here. That should be more than enough. It is time for takeoff. So let's head back to BierStein. Apparently even more food is delivered. We don't need anywhere near that much. The only problem is that our batteries are a little bit low, but at the end of the day, we do have a solar panel, so it should be okay, I believe. I think we should be fine. So let's jump right into this and let's see. First of all, Spacefarer modules, change crew. We have Dark Fry and we have JSMSJ on here. That's perfect. Then we need to change the destination, and the destination is to land on Grossano. And then all that is left to do is say, let's go. Let's make sure we are actually getting there in time. And our crew is on board and we have a liftoff. Wonderful. And we are going over there to Grossano and help out Jemsterr. Wonderful. That's what that should look like. We should be there anytime now. Meanwhile, over here on Grossano, we can prepare for the arrival. We also have something in our mini pod, so let's take a look. Oh, and we have grub fruit preserve. Oh, that's wonderful. We do have a lot of food coming though. Do we have another dupe? Ranching, rocketry, doctoring, hard digging, decreased science, decreased construction. You are definitely a no. Rocketry and digging. We don't really need that. Jemsterr is very good at digging himself. And you over here cooking, suit wearing, and farming. We have a farmer on the way. I don't want to get too many dupes on here, so we're just gonna get with the grub fruit preserve. We just need to put it down here. Let's see, grub fruit preserve. We just need to find it and then we can actually store it down here. That's what needs to happen right away. That's important. Next on the list will be some bedrooms, so let's get that done right away. Just down here we're gonna have one bedroom. That should be sufficient. We're probably gonna get rid of these airflow tiles right here, but I brought some plastic. Let's see, do we have enough plastic to actually build us a comfy bed, or better to say 2 for both of our dupes? Comfy bed costs 200 and we brought 11 tons. Yeah, that's more than sufficient. That's actually great. So let's get building. We need pneumatic doors, one here and one there, with 4 spaces, because I want to put a bunch of nice stuff in here. We need to bring our morale up as quickly as humanly possible. And then over here, we should have, with a little bit of luck, enough space to actually also squeeze in our bathroom stuff. So in medicine, we need a wash basin. That's what we're going to start with. And in plumbing, we're just going to build an outhouse as well, so we have it when we need it. And then in furniture, once again, comfy bed, one right here and one right there. Yeah, that should be good. Down here on the bottom, I have chance to build some airflow tiles in the chlorine. Well, why is that? We're gonna see that in a second. We need to get some dirt in because we don't have any. So in refinement, we need to find us some compost, and we're gonna plop a compost right here and a compost right there, because what we do have more than enough is polluted dirt. And we need to grab that polluted dirt and we need to make normal dirt out of it. Also, to actually get some decoration going in here, back on BierStein, let's take a look over here, the conveyor loader. We need to get some industrial ingredients in, and that's reed fibers. Allow manual use. Let's grab some reed fibers and let's fire him over to Grossano right away, please. Over here, our rocket is landed. What I didn't consider is the heat that it actually puts in this area here. So Jemsterr got a little bit hurt. Nothing too bad though. So let's see what we can do right away. In here, we need to grab out of here whatever we can as much as possible. All the barbecue, for example, needs to go. We're going to set this here to a priority of 5. And then this here should get moved out of here, I would hope. Then over in Serenity, over here we are storing the muck root and the hexalent fruit, which is fine. It will never die, so it can easily stay here without an issue. And let's see if that actually happens. Where you at, JSMSJ? Are you not going to do anything? No, you're just tired, aren't you? Oh, you can't get out of the rocket. That's why. Yeah. Over here, of course, without a ladder, none of our dupes will be able to actually get out of their module. So Jemsterr needs to come by, needs to get this done here, and hopefully the temperature by then is better. Yes, it is. And he puts his suit on. That's how we want to see this here. Wonderful. Let's turn the speed a little bit down. That's a slight overkill right there. And now Darkfry can actually come out of here. Good. Our temperature is slightly normalizing. It will just take a tiny little bit, but it should be all right. For our wash basin, of course, we also don't have water. That is the next thing that we have to change here very quickly. And we also need to grow our own food. We're probably going to do this on this height here. This mini pot here, I will have to move it out of the way, unfortunately, but that should be okay. And the food is being moved just as I expected. Yeah, that's going to be perfect. And then we're going to send JSMSJ back home where he belongs. Great. So what I'm going to do is over here, I need to make sure that Jemsterr and Darkfry stay in this area right here. I don't want them to leave. Whereas JSMSJ will have to leave right away. So, how are we going to do this? JSMSJ, come here. We're going to move you just up here to the top. And Darkfry, we're going to move you all the way down to the bottom. And Jemsterr, we're going to move you all the way down to the bottom as well. Then I'm going to give this door here a lock command with a number 9 priority. Let's make sure both of those things happen. Perfect. JSMSJ is in the right direction. I acknowledge the warnings and we're going to begin the launch sequence. JSMSJ is on board. And we're going to lift off. Jemsterr is closing the door because we don't want to come out here into this heat. And JSMSJ is safely back on his way where he belongs. Whereas Jemsterr and Darkfry are going to stay here and they're going to be happily on Grossano, I hope. Next of all, we need to build some stuff. This here first needs to cool down before we can come over here. We can see we're at 1,000 degrees. That is not good at all. We have overheat damage on our jumbo battery, but that's fine. We are going to survive that without an issue. No problem whatsoever. Up here, I'm going to start to build a Great Hall. That's probably the best way to go about it. We just need to come in here and we're going to grab us some mess tables. And I'm just going to plop 2 here and 2 there. Way more than we actually need, but better too many than not enough. Let's make it 6. Let's call it a day. And then as soon as we can open the store here again, we should have access to our reed fibers. And therefore, we should be able to easily build us some blank canvases and get in what we need. Over here, now that we have Darkfry and Jemsterr, I gave construction errands for a bunch of blank canvases as well as a metal block here at the end. We need to make sure that we get the morale up and the stress down so our dupes are more productive. But Jemsterr is hurt. And when Jemsterr's hurt, that's usually not good. So I'm just going to build a 3-edge cot somewhere around here. It doesn't really matter, just so he lays down. It's going to go up by 25 per cycle the longer he lays. So a little bit over 1 cycle and he should be back on his feet perfectly fine. Let's take a look here. This here is already a masterpiece, of course, and in our room overlay we still have a mess hall. We need to make a great hall out of it. And what do we need for that? A recreational building. And for a recreational building, I'm not entirely sure. Do we actually need water for it? If I put a water cooler in there, it could work. So we're just going to plop one down. It's not going to be nice and centered, unfortunately, which sucks, but that's okay. It doesn't really matter for right now. We're going to fix that later so it actually looks halfway decent, but we need this here built. And I believe that it is counting, even though there's no water in it. That is what my understanding is, but we will see. If we need water, we will get water. No problem at all. And the water cooler is built. Let's see, even without water, was I correct? Yes, we have a great hall, which brings us a +6 morale, as well as the bedrooms with +2, or at least we will have a bedroom here in a second, as soon as we have the first canvas built. And then over here we have the latrine, which also gives us another +1 morale. That is definitely going to be helpful in the long run, and our massage table here should not have to do anything anymore at all. That is exactly what that should look like. Jemsterr is back on his feet and he is back at work, and we can actually slowly but steadily start to create this here as we want to. Now that we have 2 dupes, everything should go a hell of a lot faster, and that is exactly what we want. Down here, our polluted water, we need to make actual normal water out of it, and that relatively quickly. So we need to build a water sieve setup. Let's take a look in refinement, of course, not in furniture. We need to build a sieve. But where are we gonna put it? Probably somewhere right here. And we could do something very, very simple. We could just take the water that's in here, pump it through the sieve, and pump it right back in here. It doesn't mix, so it doesn't matter. I think that's probably the easiest way to go about it. So I'm just gonna plop this one right here. Then we go into plumbing, grab us a liquid pump and plop it down here on the right on the corner. That is the lowest point, so we will definitely suck up all the polluted water that we have in here. On the left side over here, I think all this polluted water, we need to boil it. I think that's the only way that we can get anything useful out of it. And I think the smartest way to do it is if we can go in somewhere over the top. But where could we do that? We could try to get through here, for example. I don't want to lose our chlorine, that's for sure. That's important. We want to make sure that we get all of those germs out of here, because when we look, we have more than enough slime with slime lung on it left. So we're gonna dig down here, and down here we're gonna build a chamber where we're gonna boil water. We're gonna get the steam out of it, and then we're gonna transfer the hot water, once it is back into a liquid state, back up into wherever we need it. We just need to cool it down so we can actually use it for something, but that should be relatively easy with the help of an aqua tuner. So let's get building over here. We could literally just go straight across here. How about that? That's probably a good idea. Is there anything that could break if we have a little bit of abyssalite? I'm not entirely sure how strong abyssalite is, so we're gonna go right through here, and at the end of it, we're gonna build a mechanized airlock just like this here. That should be helpful. We just need to find a way to actually get over there, which should also be easy with a piece of ladder right there. So let's get that built, and let's break into the next area. Over here, while we are at it, I might as well plop in a station for Atmo suits. The reason is that there's just too much going on here, the heat and everything. It is a little bit too dangerous to try it without it. So what I'm gonna do is I need to move over my door one, but that is okay. We're gonna plop it right here, and we're gonna plop the Atmo suit dock, a second one right behind it. That's what that should look like. Actually, we can leave it like it is. It probably doesn't matter. It should be okay. We just need to find a source of oxygen, and for that, we could just build anything, but I'm going to build a filter pump, and I'm just going to plop it very close to right here. That shouldn't cause any trouble in the long run. So we go into ventilation, we grab us the filter gas pump, and we just literally going to smack it somewhere out here. It doesn't really matter because we have more than enough oxygen. We just need to build it, and then we of course need to hook everything up with power as well. So we're gonna come over here, hook that one here up with power, and then here we just gonna keep on straight. Yeah, that's fine. We're just gonna come down here, hook these here up as well, and that should get the job done. And then of course we need a gas pipe, just any gas pipe, doesn't have to be insulated, and make sure that these two here are getting done as well. On the top, right beside our targeting beacon, just to make sure that our payloads, when they arrive, are getting processed a little bit faster. I'm going to go into rocketry and build a payload opener, and I'm just going to plop it right there. And the power is already connected to it as soon as it's being built. So here we have it, just like that. It has, of course, no payload. Very easily in shipping, we build an auto sweeper, and we just probably going to plop it somewhere right here. All it needs is a little bit of power, so we're going to hook that up as well. All is now connected by one power wire. Our potential load is at 2055. Thankfully, never everything runs at once, so that shouldn't be a problem whatsoever. And as soon as our payload comes, our dupe shouldn't have to do anything. The auto sweeper should take care of the job, and that should of course help us out greatly with what we are using our dupe's labor for. Down here, I'm planning on building a very simple device where we use a mechanized airlock in the middle to control the heat with the help of a thermal sensor. Let's see how that works out once we build it. But first of all, I need to get rid of all this water here. I want to be able to control the water flow into this basin right here. So we need to be sure that we can control it and not just dig straight down and go for it. That is not going to fly. Therefore, we need to move the water all the way over here to the right. At least that's the master plan. I'm just going to keep on digging into this general direction and fill all this here up with water, and hopefully no more water will be left right here. So then we can dig down here on the left side and build all this stuff without letting any water in. So that will be a bunch of digging before we actually get to that. This here is just a sample of how I'm going to build this here. It's going to be a little bit more refined, but again, first of all, this here is what needs to be done. While we're digging on the other hand, over here on Muckola, we need to get this thing here finally going. I have built this here, what, 3 episodes ago or something? At least that's what it feels like. I'm not entirely sure how long ago, but it needs to be done. So all we're gonna do is we're probably gonna build a double manual airlock, one right here and one right there, with a pump that we're gonna slap into there. So we can actually create a vacuum right there. And then just down here with a ladder, we're gonna come all the way down, and down here in the bottom somewhere, I'm probably gonna dig out a little bit of the stuff here. We have some coal here, so that will be helpful. We're definitely going to take the coal. What am I saying? We're going to come all the way down here, dig out all the coal, and then we're going to make sure that all this water here is getting transferred over to right there. You're going to build a nice little cage around here as well. So come by, dupes, let's get it done. And we need to turn on our device over here to actually produce some oxygen. Since currently all of our oxygen is actually coming from our polluted water down here, and we're just filtering it up here with deodorizers. That's all we're doing. And it turns out I actually went a completely different direction over here than what I said a second ago. Well, that's just sometimes how this goes. We're first gonna empty out this right side here and get rid of all this water, and then we actually gonna use our cool steam vent over here on the left. But one step after the next, first all this here has to go. Everything is now built, I believe. We just need to get rid of all this stuff in here so we can actually lock those doors for good. And once that happens, we're just gonna plop on a hamster wheel and get started. Our hydrogen generator over here will take a little bit of damage. We could prevent that, but is it really worth it for a little bit of copper? Not in my book. I think it's gonna be fine. Come on, pick up that last little piece here of polluted mud. Get it out of here. Somebody, Eric. There you go. Eric's getting the job done, of course. Who else? And he's leaving. Now we can actually lock this door, and we can lock that door here as well. And then I'm just gonna build and power a hamster wheel on the top, manual generator, and hook it up to our heavy watt wire that we have already in here. And then we hopefully can produce a little bit of energy to get this whole system here started off. And the system is being started. We're already pumping out oxygen here on the bottom. That's perfect. In the top, we are creating the first hydrogen. Let's take a look in our other overlay right here. We just need more hydrogen. Yes, we are damaging it. I'm well aware. It is perfectly fine. Really does not matter to me whatsoever. There we go. Now we have a vacuum, and now we should get more stuff in here. We want to go above 500 grams. That should be perfect. There shouldn't be a problem with that. We can say 750 just to be safe, but it should be okay. And now our hydrogen generator, whenever a dupe has time, we'll just repair it. That's the only damage we are doing here. Max gas pressure is reached. Apparently 750 is too high. We need to go above 500 maybe. Let's see. We also don't have an output here. That is probably the problem. Yes, our oxygen pressure here on the bottom. So let's take a look. Where can we actually feed it? That is actually a problem right now. We should probably feed it into some sort of infinite storage. That's the reality of it. But yes, I think up here on the top somewhere is where I'm going to build another infinite storage for our oxygen, because currently it just doesn't go anywhere. Our entire base is already completely overpressured since we have no regulating mechanism other than whatever we are releasing out of the polluted water and the polluted mud and whatever else the hell we have in here. It all comes up, it all gets converted into oxygen, it all combines up here. And we are way overpressured as a matter of fact. So we need an infinite storage to take care of this problem. So let's build one of those once again. We're probably just gonna plop it right beside here. There's really no reason why we wouldn't. So let's get going as usual. We're gonna come up here, we're gonna build it this high. Then we're gonna come 1, 2, 3, 4 over, and the 5th one is right here. That's how far we want to have it. Right here, we're gonna come up, and then we're gonna come over. That's what our enclosure is going to look like eventually. And here we have our standard setup. As usual, we're just gonna turn this one here on, and we're gonna say water number 9, enable auto bottle, and let's get in a tiny little bit of water here. We don't need a hell of a lot as usual. And then we also need to come up with a cooling solution. That's gonna be next on the agenda. But for right now, it's not really that high on the agenda. We will get that done eventually without an issue. 200 kilograms of water have been delivered. We can turn this one here back off. And our water is here. Now we just have to get mopping as usual. So let's get the job in here and let's see if we can get it done on the first try. That would be nice. Let's slow it down quite drastically and let's see how much water we have left here. Let's stop the digging command and let's see what happens then. Not the digging command, the mopping command, of course. We still have way too much water in here. This is okay. Better be a little bit more careful. Becomes leafy. Mopping once again. Let's see. 100 grams, 1,000 grams. We still have too much. 1,800, 400, and 128. Still too much. Let's see. And now we're looking a hell of a lot better. We can now cancel this command. And let's pick up our water and everything else that's laying around. And then let's make sure that we build a wall around it. And here we have it, our infinite oxygen storage is ready to roll. We're already filling it up, already with 8 kilograms of gas in there. Perfectly fine, no problem at all. We need to put in a cooling solution here very soon though. Our gas is getting quite hot over here. We're at 73 degrees. We don't want to reach 100 or our water will evaporate and therefore our infinite storage will break. So we need to avoid that at all costs, but we have a tiny little bit more time, so it's not that big a deal. The same will eventually also be true for the oxygen. We don't want to have it at 43 degrees, so we need to cool down all of it over here to make sure that we don't make the same mistake we made in the other base at the very beginning and actually have all of our gases way too hot. This down here is what our setup now looks like. At the moment, we're still waiting to empty this here all out. And as soon as that happens, over here on the left, we need to finish this here up, put in another pump, and then we're just going to use the water from our cool steam vent to actually power our electrolyzer. Shouldn't be that big a deal. We just need to get rid of all of this water here. It's way too hot that we could use it into our base. Of course, we could cool it down, but my plan is to use our second cool steam vent, which is over here for exactly that. We're going to take the water, we're going to cool it down, and we're going to use it in our base because currently we can see we really don't have a hell of a lot of water. We definitely need to change that. Over here on BierStein, we have completed this entire area here. We have dug it out completely. It has taken long enough. There's one more piece here that apparently got missed somehow. So let's build one piece of ladder and get rid of it so it looks a little bit nicer. We can also clean up all this stuff here. We don't need it anymore. The dupes over here literally have nothing to do at all. So if there's something laying around, we may as well clean it. There's nothing left. Everything's nice and clean, just as there should be. Wonderful. Our water temperature of our 31 tons of liquid is by now down to 62 degrees. We're also not putting anything in, we're only taking out, so it should go exponentially faster because we're having less and less actual material in there. So that should be good. Also, our power consumption, I have reduced it as much as humanly possible, and I hope we're getting now more hydrogen in that we're using. Let's take a look at that as well. And we are down to about 1,500 kilograms. So over the entirety of this episode, we have lost about 200 kilograms. That is not bad. That is not bad at all. We just have to get down with our consumption a tiny little bit more. Over here, our industrial brick is still churning away happily. We do have a little bit of overheating here with our glass forge, so I probably have to do something else about it. But for right now, I just wanted to make a little bit more glass so we can actually send it over to Grossano, because if we take a look at Grossano, we are running low on power. Our 2 solar panels here are not going to cut it anymore, and the easiest way to get more power in quickly is to build a couple more solar panels for right now. And that is all that's needed until we get into our hydrogen here, which is what we're going to do as soon as we have our water. That is the first thing that I want to do, but for that we need more power. So let's head back to BierStein, and over here all the way on the top we need to turn this here back on, one of the things that I turned off, so we can actually save a little bit. And then in here we're just gonna say, let's see, refined metal, no, manufactured material, glass, bring all the glass we have and send it over. That is #1 priority, so we can build more solar panels. And over here on Grossano, finally we got all of our water down here on the bottom right into nice, not polluted water, but nice drinking water. So we can get rid of this entire construction right here. On top of that, I built a infinite storage up here for all of our solids because it was just laying around, and we want to keep our stress as low as we can. We are up to 27% again, and we definitely don't want that. So let's make sure that all this stuff here gets out of the way when they have nothing else to do. Down here on the bottom, we managed it. We actually got all of the polluted water over into this right side here. Took a little bit more digging than I expected, but it is what it is. And over here, we have actually completed our outline. Perfect. That is exactly what we need, and next time around we're gonna finish this build here. Like I said, this here is just temporary, so I could measure where our mechanized airlocks go. We probably have to dig down a little bit further, but that's fine. We're gonna transfer the energy up, and then we're gonna boil our dirty water in an effort to save on sand, because sand is certainly a little bit scarce on this planet. As a matter of fact, we have none at all. So all we're getting is from our main base on BierStein. So this here, we're gonna get rid of it. We're gonna take a look into our F6 overview. We can see everything in here in this pipe is filled with water. There's nothing else, so we can delete all of it. We don't need any of this here anymore whatsoever. The water sieve can go, both of them as a matter of fact, and the auto sweeper can go as well. This should save us a lot of power. And by the way, we got our first delivery in, so another solar panel has been built. We have 3 now, which is more than enough power for this base here for right now. And more glass should be on the way, so we should be able to build 2 more of those, which is going to be perfect. And over here we finally have it. Everything that needs to be gone is now gone, and we have a nice buildable space once again. Now that's exactly what we need, because that's where we're going to tame our hydrogen vent over here. It's currently dormant, so that's going to be on the priority list on the very top to get that done before it comes out of dormancy. It just makes it a little bit easier. If we have the opportunity, we may as well take it. And here on the bottom, we're cleaning up a little bit more stuff. Nothing crazy, nothing fancy. We are just making sure that we have everything in one particular spot, which is going to be up here for right now, and our dupes have access to it whenever they need to. It's going to be pretty simple. Also, this ladder here, I will replace it, of course, with plastic, so we can speed this process here up a tiny little bit. But I think we're gonna call it for today. We have done quite a lot, even though you guys didn't see most of it, because with just 2 dupes digging down here in the corner, it just took a very, very long time. But at the end of the day, we got it done, and that is what matters. And as I said, next time around, we're gonna make sure we get the hydrogen vent here tamed, and then we're gonna complete also our water boiler down here. We also need to get some food in. We still have 48,000 calories, but we have nothing coming in right now whatsoever. So we definitely need to make sure we get that done. But all I have left to say is thank you very much for watching. If you enjoyed the content, please subscribe to the channel, leave a like on the video, and comment down below. What do you think? Let me know. I'm always happy to hear from you. And with that, I say thank you and peace.